Hey everyone, Chase and Joel here today in our 52-week series of personal injury, coming to you today with week number 12 on lawsuit loans. Joel, what is a lawsuit loan?
All right, so a lawsuit loan is a loan, right? And instead of having your house as collateral or your car as collateral, basically your case is the collateral on the loan. Whatever your recovery would be is what you pay the loan back from. So if you take out $10,000 while your case is pending in a litigation loan or a lawsuit loan, then once your case settles or you get a verdict, or you get a recovery, then you have to pay that back plus interest to whichever company loaned you the money.
Right, so it's basically an advance, right? It's an advance on a potential settlement that you may get from your case. So as you can imagine, there are no guarantees with any case, any claim ever. So the cost of these loans are extremely expensive. There's a cost to just apply for the loan, to have the money wired to the bank, and then the interest just starts to accrue, and then it starts to compound every 3 to 6 months depending on who the company is that's providing the loan. Now, there's certainly better companies than others that will help facilitate this, but at a minimum, I always tell my clients, like, this is a last resort because they are so costly. And at the end of the day, when it always comes time to pay off these loans, it's always a sticker shock as to how much it actually is. But I also know that sometimes they're vital, right? Sometimes because people have been very badly injured, they're out of work, rent's coming up, they got to pay their mortgage, and they've got no way to pay for anything. So these loans are sometimes necessary.
Yeah, I mean, the purpose of this video is not to hike our leg and pretend that the litigation loan company is the fire hydrant, although some of them might as well be.
It's a great analogy, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. But it's not, the purpose of this is not to trash on them, because they do have a place and they can serve some very good purposes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there are times, listen, if you've been hurt so bad that you can't work, if you've been hurt so bad that there's no way for you to generate income and pay your bills, and you're about to get kicked out of your apartment, you can't pay your mortgage, you may have no other option. And these companies, by providing the service, can sometimes help you keep your house.
Absolutely.
Sometimes help you keep your apartment while your personal injury case is being processed and goes through all the stages it has to go through. You just have to go into it eyes wide open and know that it's going to be very expensive in the long run when you do have to pay it back.
Yeah, and there's companies that we work with that are great companies that make the process as easy as they can be when it comes to actually getting a loan.
Yeah.
So,
and some of them would cap it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's way more expensive than a bank loan. But some companies will ramp up all that, the interest, and then when it hits a certain point, they'll just stop and say, okay, and once it hits this point, this is the max you'll ever have to pay us back.
Right, and it could be $12,000 when you borrowed only $5,000. So
yeah.
It's still a lot.
Yeah.
But
so I was kind of thinking the good, the bad, and the ugly about these loans, and I guess the good part is that they do have their place, and they are sometimes necessary, and they can sometimes help you keep your house, keep your apartment, those type things. The bad part is that they are very expensive.
Yeah, and it gives you sort of, I don't want to say it gives you an incentive, but you can have the tendency to keep going back for a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then the next thing you know, it's just gotten out of control.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And I guess the ugly part of it is there are some litigation loans companies that I would consider to be the fire hydrant, because they're usually a lot of them that you see on TV, where they're standing on a bus, or they have these cheesy advertisements. It's kind of like with lawyers. Like, the cheesier the advertisement, the less likely you're going to be to find good terms under the agreement, the less likely that the lawyer you call is going to really be a good lawyer. It's not impossible, but it's just less likely, right? And so if you're considering getting a litigation loan, most of these companies are not going to give you the loan unless you have an attorney. So I would go to whatever attorney you have and discuss this with them first, go over all your options, And then if there really is no other option, then maybe your attorney can recommend a litigation loan company for you that is reputable, maybe one that caps what they can charge, one that's not going to rip you off.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing is sometimes they'll negotiate with you on the back end, like if your settlement's not as much as you was hoping that it was going to be. Some of the better litigation loan companies will work with you and negotiate what you owe them down some to save you some money. So most attorneys, at least around Georgia and that metro Atlanta area, are going to know the companies that are willing to do that, and that's usually the ones that they're going to recommend that you go with. So, got anything else about litigation loans?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, if this video has been helpful to you, we'd appreciate you subscribing to our channel, giving us a thumbs up, or if you have any other tips or tricks when dealing with litigation loan companies, just go ahead and throw that comment in the section below and let us know what you think. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for video number 13.